All right, so I haven't gotten to hear this in a while, but one elder called it standing on your own square. And story that makes more room for people because it makes more room for me is over the past month, I had realized that I needed a couple more shelves in my living space so I can help get some of the stuff all around me from having lived in a house to living in a studio apartment off of me. I needed more shelf space. I want to tell you the story of how I realized it. Over the past 41 years, taking the best of what I have available to me, the journey of focusing and building capacity for the life I want to live, my executive functioning, I realized over the past month that when it comes to how to care for myself, where does this stuff come from? That's coming, I realized, okay, so my mama and my mama taught me how to take care of myself when I was younger. And I watched them make a home for themselves and us, our family. And there's something I've always thought about is the way that I have watched uh, Mama and Mama both take care of themselves with what is left from taking care of everyone else. The choices to adorn themselves, the choices to have certain things in their home. And I realized as I'm excavating all of where that comes from for me, I had been letting go since I was 14 of any kind of guilt and shame because I knew around 14, it just seemed to me like it was made very plain on my journey with everybody who's been raising me, Mama, God. If we're going to talk about my creator, I've got to include my mom and my mama and what they was working on. But I started realizing, so they took care, they made a home that was comfortable, best they could with what they had to work with for their body. And here I am with a fraction of the space and resources trying to have a home to live out of and do all that I got to do. And I'm not doing it with a spouse and 3 kids. For my mom, it would be 4 kids. But I started realizing this comparison that I had inside of me, which comparison can be so general until you get clear sometimes. And then it gets real specific because the only comparison is between us and the day before. So many, I've heard that from so many elders. You can't compete where you don't compare, one elder put it. So I realized I don't have the space that Mama and Mama was working with. I had that when I was married, had a house, had different rooms. I started realizing, man, my studio apartment is not only pulling double duty, sometimes triple, quadruple duty on certain areas. The different systems that I need to stay focused and stay working toward my goals toward ethnomusicology and folklore. But where I'm at on my journey right now with it, I just realized I was comparing myself. And any of those feelings that were negative and I was wielding against myself, I started thinking to myself, what would it be like for Mama and Mama to be going through all this, comparing themselves to someone else when they're not working with someone else's resources? They're working with what they got to work with. And I was just like, damn, what did you thought about that, Gabe? I don't think Mama and Mama would sign off on that. So it occurred to me the moment I realized that, it hit me. I started looking around at my room and I'm thinking, like, okay, let's let's look at Mama's house. Drawing out this child level. I'm looking at all these different rooms and what they do. And what I've been feeling like since going from a house to a studio apartment is like all my stuff's on top of me. Man, like we don't. I don't feel like we talk about, or we're busier talking about love languages often than we are talking about what those things mean to you. And I heard this lady, Heidi Priebe, said that the love language of touch begins with you and how you dress yourself, like how you adorn yourself is a love language because that's your relationship to touch. How you, the way you like to be comfortable in your own skin and like what you want touching you, that's love. And so this past month, it just kind of hit me. Mamaw, with the resources they had, made a home for themselves that they were going to live out of and take care of their families and work toward what they care about. And I'm doing the same thing. But the moment I identified the comparison and how I was unwittingly beating myself up from the standpoint of where I had come from, and that I'm not minimally taking care of myself like they trained me, and it just hit me like, there's my capacity. And I might spend the rest of my life thinking all kind of things, but if it's not building from here, I'm not building with what I have to work with. And so that was very helpful for me. And to the elder, I don't know her name, but I remember I was in Anniston when I saw this video, but she was saying you can't compete where you don't compare. I'm thankful to her. Just saying that to where other folks could hear it. Whatever it took to bring that forward, that helped me. It not only helped me, I know it's helping my mom and my mama take care of someone they love. And that's what the understanding was for. They loved understanding into me and made me responsible for who they love. That includes me and the whole family. And my mama Katie Mae, put me with people since I was born who were qualified to deal with me within the means mama had to work with. So all that tailor made from it was the Easter egg in Mama's womb. Came through in 84. All that tailor made. And the elders who my mama entrusted me to as a child, um, I cannot tell the truth about where I'm at today and the amount of who I am that I have access to without acknowledging the people my mom's told me she said felt like treated her the most like a person. And that would be the black community in Argo, Springville, Alabama. When my mom was a child, that was going to be the first generation integration. And it's difficult to find words for it, but I don't mind finding words to tell the truth. But I see the benefit I have from the love that was shown my mom as a child. And I have seen that love echo throughout my mama's childhood and the way my mom stayed with what she had to work with to develop the talents my mama invested in as my mama kept a home with the resources she had. And the next person, the next family in Springville, Argo, Alabama, raising their children in the 1960s, and a world that was going to ultimately do what America is at today. All I can think of is what wealth there is in working with what we actually have to work with since we were born. And there are countless people, names I don't even know, who put in on mama. And I see the way our country treats their families. I was raised by this village. I'm going to tell the truth. This is older than Travis and his mama.